Hello, everybody. It's Coach Kiana, Coach K, Kiana Shaw, CEO of Leadership Academy and the creator of Mothers Raising Teen Daughters. Checking in. I wanted to do a check in with you all, see how things are going. I'm holding my phone, so excuse it if it's if it's moving a little bit. But wanted to do a quick check-in. Hey, Mark, and see how everyone is doing. But I also wanted to give you some tips because a lot of us are homeschooling. A lot of us have never had to be home with our children this much since like you took maternity leave. So this is a good opportunity to dive into some quick reminders and tips and things like that because some of us are just not okay, right? Especially if you have kids who chit chat from the moment they wake up, as my Kayla does. If you have children who are just full of attitude, so share this video out. Because even if you don't have teenagers, somebody you know does, right? And then also, like, drop comments. Let me know that you're here. Say hi to me. Let me know you're in the room. Because I have not done a live on my personal page in quite some time. I go live in my group, but I haven't gone live in on my personal page. And so just wanted to drop in and show you all some love too, because I did these 3 tips in my group a couple of days ago. It might have been yesterday, but real quick, I just want to stop and take a moment and just share with you all as well. So 3 tips to surviving your teen's attitude during this national pandemic. It is definitely something that we need to think twice about. You know, there's one thing to be home with your kids and, you know, they have the ability to go and be with their friends. But when you're trying to decide if you're going to put them through college or through a wall, it's time to take a step back. So I wanted to give a couple of tips. So tip number 1, hey, Tamara. Tip number 1 is be consistent. Please be consistent. A lot of us have these rules, but we kind of, let circumstances dictate if we're consistent or not. You know, if our kids are asking us something while we're trying to do something else, it's just like, you know what, fine, go ahead. Like you, or if you're just irritated by them. So we have a tendency to let things slide, and we're not being consistent, and it's really hurting our ability to parent. Okay. I always say that what you put in your kids from 0 to 5 is what you'll get from 6 to 25, right? And so you really need to be consistent with them. Establish boundaries. This is a perfect time if you're home with your kids to establish boundaries, to reestablish boundaries, to establish your parental authority, right? Because I think a lot of times, particularly if you have latchkey kids, they have a tendency to just kind of think that they can run their own life. And now mom is home all day, dad is home all day, and they are not handling it well. And so reinforcing the rules, establishing new rules if you don't really have rules, because you're like, well, I just kind of trusted that they didn't do this stuff. And now you're home and you're like, oh yeah, they tripping. Right. And so doing that, I think the best parenting advice my mother ever gave me was get your bluff in before she turned 5, because after that it's over, right? And so you want to make sure that you are getting your rules together, that you are it's being consistent and establishing that authority with your teenager now, because as time goes on, LA Unified just canceled the rest of their year. So it's going to be a long couple of months, right? So making sure that you're being consistent. The second thing is stop negotiating. I say this all the time because people have a tendency, hey Cassandra, people have a tendency to, or teenagers anyway, have a tendency to say, well, mom, if you let me do this, then I'll do that. If you let me go to Magic Mountain, then I'll clean up the room, or I'll clean up the house, or I'll babysit the little sisters. And the conversation is not, okay, well, if you do that, then I'll let you go. The conversation is, don't even ask me if you haven't done that. Don't ask me to go anywhere if you haven't cleaned up the kitchen. Don't ask me to go anywhere if you haven't cleaned up your room. You know what I mean? Like I have a responsibility chart. I forget the website. I forget the link. But I'll drop it in the comments. But the responsibility chart has everything listed from did you clean the lid over the stove? Did you clean the handles? Did you clean the counters? Did you sweep the floor, mop the floor? Did you put the mop back? Like all these things are included. So if the list isn't done, then you're not going anywhere. If you didn't clean behind your door, if you didn't clean under your bed, then you're not going anywhere. And so the conversation is not, well, mom, if you let me do this, I'll let you do that. The conversation needs to be, don't even ask me if you haven't done what you are supposed to do. And I think a lot of times as parents, we are so afraid to upset our teenagers. We're so afraid of the attitude. We don't want to be bothered with, we don't want to be bothered with dealing with them in front of family members because, oh my goodness, the attitude just gets horrible. People are looking at me like I'm a bad mom. Y'all got to stop being afraid of that. And I remember having an attitude with my mother, and she was like, you know what? Get up from my table and leave your plate there, because you cannot eat my food and have an attitude with me. And we need to really think about how we're allowing our kids to impact our home. You have an attitude, you don't get to enjoy my luxuries. You don't get to sit and watch my cable and not speak to me. You don't get to, I don't know, use my lights. Listen, I grew up with Miss Pam. She would take the light bulbs. You will be using the hallway light, ma'am. And the thing is that it's about making sure that they are respectful. Hey, Cash, thank you for joining. It's about making sure that they are respectful. And if you have not taken the time to establish that with your teenager, now is the time. Use this time wisely, because we just can't let them negotiate their way. And I hear people say all the time, well, you know, you have to pick your battles. No, you don't. Why are you picking battles with somebody you taking care of? People go to battles for power. Your teenager don't have power. They cannot do anything for themselves. They probably can't work more than 20 hours a week. They're not making $35 if they are. It's okay. Let them be mad. It's okay for your teen to be upset. Hey, Tani, thanks for joining. It's perfectly okay for your teenager to be upset with you. So stop negotiating and stop trying to pick your battles. There is no battle with a person who does not have the ability to exchange power with you. Okay? And then my third tip, allow your teenagers to disagree, but make them do it respectfully, right? Because they are people and they have opinions, they have thoughts, and that is perfectly fine. Hey, Tiffany, that's perfectly fine that they have these feelings and all of that. But my thing is, you can disagree, but do what I told you to do first. You don't get to have this battle with me about why you disagree. If I give you instructions, you don't get to say, well, I don't think that that's fair. Because no. You go do it. And then you come back and say, you know, I feel that was unfair because. But you don't do it in the moment, because now you're back talking and that doesn't fly. Now you're challenging me. And that doesn't work. And so taking the time to explain that to your teenager. It's not that you can't disagree. You're a person. You have thoughts. You have feelings, right? You have your own way of looking at it, and that's perfectly fine. You just can't do it with an attitude, right? And that's big. Making them understand you can disagree all day, but you're going to do it with a smile on your face. That should not be negotiable. You can disagree all day, but you're going to do it after. And you can feel like I'm being totally unfair, but you still have to do what I've instructed. You still have to do what I told you to do. You don't get to say, well, I'm not doing it because, no, you're going to do it. And so again, it's about, sometimes you got to decide, am I going to put you through college or put you through this wall, right? And because we don't want to take the latter, we have to make sure that we're doing the first part. We have to make sure that we are making them accountable to their actions and their attitudes. So the 3 tips, if you missed it, be consistent. Don't negotiate and allow them to disagree respectfully. Okay. On Sunday, I am doing an attitude class. Both mother and daughter can take the class, and it's just $19. It's a 3 hour webinar. $19. It's called Attitude Check. So you can sign up. I put the link in the video. So you can sign up. It's 3 hours from 10 a.m. Pacific time to 1 p.m. Pacific time. So it's not going to be that long. If you want to sign up but you can't make it live, that's okay. We'll do it. I'll send out the replay so that you can still get the information. All right. So make sure you sign up. Make sure you share this video. Thank you so much for hopping on with me. I know it's been a long time since I have gone live, and so I do appreciate you guys joining me. Hey, Arlene, I see you as well. So thank you so much. I do appreciate it. But remember those 3 tips. Number 1, be consistent. She said, does the tips include liquor? Listen, whatever gets you through it. When you homeschooling, I just think that if you're not an alcoholic by week 3, you're a very brave person. I'm just saying. She said, oh, you being serious. Child, I'm gone. No, it's perfectly fine, Arlene. It's perfectly fine. I was given 3 tips to surviving your teen's attitude during this COVID-19, because sometimes you have to choose between the attitude and the pandemic. And sometimes you just like, God, I really need you to pick one for me, because I can't do both. Something got to give. Okay, so be consistent. Don't negotiate, and allow them to disagree, but make them do it respectfully. I'm Coach Kiana Shaw, and I'll see you guys later. Make sure you sign up, click the link, click share. Talk to you later. Bye.